Okay, the big one is almost here. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on, well, probably the biggest online shopping event in India, the Amazon Great Indian Festival 2025. We've gone through all the noise, the deals, the fine print, everything, really, to give you a clear path to saving the most cash.
That's right. The official flag drops on September 23rd, but really, the game starts now. And we're not just, listing discounts. This is about the strategy, how to get those deals locked in before they disappear. And maybe more importantly, how to avoid that feeling later that, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't have bought that.
Exactly. And the big flashy headline, the one that's kind of setting the tone, is all about upgrading your living room. Up to 65% off on smart TVs and projectors. Now, if you've been thinking about a new screen, Amazon seems to be really pushing this category hard. It looks like their main traffic driver this year. But, grabbing a discount is easy. Picking a TV or projector that's actually good value, that's harder. That's what we're unpacking today.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Access. The very first thing, the absolute baseline, is timing. You just can't afford to wait until the 23rd.
Right, because of Prime. That's the VIP pass, isn't it? If you don't have Prime, you're already behind by a full 24 hours. Why is that one day, that early access, so absolutely critical?
Well, it really boils down to scarcity. Simple as that. The really deep discounts, the ones they call lightning deals, they're tied to limited stock. And during these huge sales, that stock can vanish in, minutes. Prime members get in first. They get the first shot at the best stuff, those high-end TVs, the popular phones, before everyone else even gets a look. Plus, Prime usually means faster delivery, which helps avoid those festive season shipping delays. That's a big headache saved right there.
Okay, so secure the entry point with Prime. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next layer? The bank offer foundation, you called it. That sort of guaranteed minimum saving.
Exactly. This is your base saving layer. For this sale, it seems to be a 10% instant discount with SBI cards, debit, credit, and even credit card EMI. Now, everyone sees 10% off, right? But here's the crucial bit, the thing people miss. That 10% almost always has a maximum cap. Maybe it's, say, 1,500 rupees or maybe 2,500 rupees. It varies. And it's usually per transaction or maybe per card.
Okay, hold on. This trips people up all the time. If I'm buying a 50,000 rupee TV, 10% should be 5,000 rupees. But if the cap is only 2,000, I only save 2,000. So what's the play here? How do you work around those caps?
You absolutely have to check the fine print on the payment page. Look for the maximum discount per transaction. Sometimes, if the terms allow it, that cap might reset on a new transaction. So let's say you're buying that 40,000 rupee TV and a 20,000 rupee phone. Both easily hit the minimum spend for the discount. It might actually save you more money to buy them in two separate orders. That way, you could potentially hit the maximum cap twice, instead of one big order where you only get the cap once. Always check if the TNCs permit splitting orders like that.
Ah, that's a proper hack. Turning the boring T&C check into actual savings. Smart. Okay, let's get to the main event then. That huge, up to 65% off on smart TVs and projectors. When we see a number that big, what are we really looking at? And how do we pick the right screen amidst all that?
Well, first, let's be realistic. That up to 65% off is usually, the absolute maximum discount. It's often reserved for maybe older models from last year, perhaps specific projector bundles, or maybe entry-level TVs they're trying to clear out. Your job as the buyer is to make sure even those clearance deals still meet, today's standards.
Right. So walk us through the checklist. Let's start small, say 32 to 43 inches. Good for bedrooms, maybe a small study.
Okay. For that size range, honestly, you should be aiming for 4K resolution now, not just full HD. Even YouTube pushes 4K these days. And definitely insist on a built-in smart OS, Android TV, Fire TV, something like that. It saves you buying a separate stick and reduces clutter. And ports, 2 HDMI ports, absolute minimum. You need one for your set-top box or maybe a streaming stick, and another for, say, a soundbar or a games console.
Okay, minimum 4K, smart OS, 2 HDMIs. Got it. Now for the living room centerpiece, that 50 to 55-inch range, the criteria must jump up quite a bit here.
Oh, absolutely. At this size, 4K is a given. But the big thing is high dynamic range, HDR. Specifically, look for HDR10 or HLG support. And if you stream a lot, like Netflix or Prime Video, you need to check for Dolby Vision support. Dolby Vision really unlocks the picture quality on those premium streaming services. Honestly, if you stream, I'd say it's non-negotiable at this screen size. You want to get the most out of your subscriptions, right?
Makes sense. What about motion, refresh rates? I see lots of deals advertising 60 hertz screens. Is that still okay?
60 hertz is fine. For basic TV watching, maybe, but for a really smooth picture, especially with sports or action movies, you really want to look for 60 hertz up to 120 hertz. It just makes everything look less blurry, more fluid during fast movement.
All right, moving up the scale, the big leagues,
Oh.
65 inches and larger. For the movie buffs and the serious gamers out there.
Yeah, this is where you need to start prioritizing the actual panel technology, not just the size. We're talking QLED or OLED here. QLED generally gives you brighter images, which is great for bright rooms. OLED gives you those perfect inky blacks, amazing for movies in a darker room. You also need to dig into specs like peak brightness numbers and whether it has local dimming. That's what really controls the contrast and makes dark scenes pop.
And for the gamers, people with a PS5 or an Xbox Series X trying to snag one of these big screens with the 65% off banner, there are some key acronyms they need, right?
Yes, absolutely critical for modern consoles. The number one thing is HDMI 2.1. Think of HDMI 2.1 as the super fast connection needed for 4K gaming at 120 frames per second. Without it, your fancy new console is basically being held back by the TV. HDMI 2.1 also enables two other crucial gaming features: VRR, variable refresh rate that stops the screen tearing effect, and ALM, auto low latency mode, which makes the controls feel super responsive. If you're a serious gamer, you need to check for all three: HDMI 2.1, VRR, and ALM.
Okay, great checklist for TVs. Now, shifting gears slightly, projectors are also under that 65% off banner. What are the key things to look for there?
Right, projectors. Three main things: light, picture detail, and how far back it needs to sit. First, ANSI lumens. That's the brightness measure. You need a decent number here, especially if your room isn't a pitch black cave. Second, check the native resolution. Make sure it's at least 1080p, full HD, ideally 4K if your budget stretches. Third, the throw distance. This tells you how big the picture will be from a certain distance away. You need to make sure it actually fits your room setup. And a bonus tip, look for one with a built-in SmartOS and automatic keystone correction. It just makes setup way easier.
That really clarifies the product choice side. Okay, now let's talk about squeezing every last drop of savings, the art of stacking, as you put it. How do we take that potential 65% off deal and push it even further?
Okay, the dream scenario, the magic combo, usually involves stacking four things if possible. You've got the product coupon first, then maybe an exchange value for an old device, then no-cost EMI if you need it, and finally, that SBI instant discount.
Walk us through how that usually works at checkout. Which discount gets applied when?
Think of it like layers. Usually the product coupon, that little green clickable tag on the product page itself, gets applied first. That reduces the base price. Then, if you're trading something in, the exchange value is calculated and deducted next. That gives you an instant price cut. After that, if you opt for no-cost EMI, the payment plan is structured based on that reduced price.
And the SBI discount is the final step.
Exactly. That 10% SBI instant discount usually gets applied right at the very end, on the final amount you actually need to pay at the payment gateway. Oh, and a quick heads up on no-cost EMI. No cost means zero extra interest, which is great, but always double-check the available tenures and just glance to see if there's maybe a small processing fee added by the bank or retailer. Sometimes there is. And for exchange offers, just be super honest about your old gadget's condition and IMEI number. If it doesn't match what you claim, they could reduce the credit or even cancel the exchange later.
Right, so layering is key. And you mentioned we don't have to wait until the 23rd, that some early deals are already popping up.
Yes, absolutely. This is the early action plan. Go find the TVs, projectors, whatever you're targeting, and add them to your wish list now. The Amazon app is pretty good at sending notifications if the price drops, sometimes even before the big sale banner officially appears. Also, get in the habit of looking for those little green coupon buttons on product pages and clicking them. It's free money, basically, static savings just waiting there. So many people forget to click them.
Good tip. And for the main event, the lightning deals.
Yeah.
They're timed right. What if you miss out?
They go incredibly fast. If you missed the deal you wanted, say, that 65-inch OLED click, join waitlist immediately. Don't just give up. Seriously, I've actually managed to get deals off the waitlist quite a few times when someone else's cart expired. It does happen. And here's a pro tip our sources flagged. New batches of lightning deals often seem to drop at specific times like midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. If you're really set on one particular item, keeping an eye out around those times might give you an edge.
Okay, so we've got a solid plan for the big TV and projector deals. Now, a lot of these ideas, stacking, checking TNCs, early prep, apply elsewhere too, right? Let's quickly run through checklists for some other popular categories. Mobiles and accessories first. What's the big pitfall this year, besides just the price?
Yeah, Beyond the price, the number one technical trap I see is with cheap 5G phones. Some only support a very limited number of 5G bands. You must check if it supports the specific bands your network uses, like N41 and 78 are common in India. Otherwise, you're buying a 5G phone that might only work like a 4G phone for you. Also, very important, check the manufacturer's promise for long-term OS updates. A cheap phone with no future software support is basically a dead end after a year or two.
Okay, bands and updates. What about hardware basics?
Charging speed, look at the wattage. Fast charging isn't a luxury anymore, it's pretty standard. And for photos, especially video or low-light shots, look for OIS, optical image stabilization. It makes a noticeable difference. Accessories-wise, look for TWS earbuds, true wireless ones, ideally with ANC, active noise cancellation, and decent quality Type-C cables are always a good buy during sales.
Right. Moving on to laptops and tablets. The baseline for performance seems to have really shifted lately.
It really has. If you're buying for work or study, forget 8 GB of RAM, honestly. Your minimum spec should be a recent gen Intel Core or AMD Ryzen chip, at least 16 GBs of RAM, and definitely an NVMe SSD, not an older SATA one. That 16 GBs of RAM makes a huge difference in multitasking. You'll thank yourself later.
And for creatives, video editors, designers.
For creators, it's all about the screen quality and sustained performance. Look for color accuracy specs like 100% RGB or maybe DCI-P3 coverage. You'll need a dedicated graphics card, obviously. But crucially, check reviews for thermals. How well does it handle heat? A powerful laptop that overheats and slows down during long rendering sessions is no good. Oh, and for tablets, make sure the screen has Widevine L1 certification. That's what you need to stream Netflix, Prime Video, etc. in proper HD.
Good point on Widevine L1. Finally, big appliances, ACs, fridges, washing machines. Efficiency and maintenance seem key here.
Definitely. For air conditioners, inverter technology is pretty much standard now for energy savings. Make sure you get the right tonnage for your room size, don't undersize it, and aim for a 5-star rating if possible. And here's a big one. Check for a copper condenser. Copper coils generally last longer and, importantly, are usually much easier and cheaper to get repaired locally compared to aluminum ones.
The copper condenser tip, always a good one. And for washers or fridges?
With washing machines, front loaders are often gentler on clothes. Check the RPM spin speed higher means drier clothes out of the machine. And for all large appliances, before you buy, confirm things like free installation, whether standard pipes or stands are included, and if they offer a doorstep demo. Sorting that out up front saves major headaches later.
Okay, we've covered finding the product, getting a discount. Before anyone actually clicks buy now on these big purchases, let's talk final checks. The pro hacks to avoid that buyer's remorse-sinking feeling.
Yes, crucial final steps. Number 1, price history. Don't just trust the percentage discount Amazon shows. Use a browser extension or website that tracks price history. See what that TV actually sold for a month ago or 3 months ago. Is it really a deal? Prices fluctuate a lot.
Good one. Number 2.
Reviews and ratings. Don't just look at the star rating. Filter by verified purchase immediately. Then read the recent reviews and definitely check the Q&A section. Older reviews might be for a slightly different version of the product.
Number 3.
Warranty and installation, especially for big stuff. Double-check the on-site warranty coverage for your specific area, your PIN code. And look for realistic installation timelines. Getting the fridge delivered tomorrow is great, but not if the installation appointment is 3 weeks away.
Ouch. And the one that often catches people out? Returns policy.
Yes. Be very aware, especially during big sales, electronics often have a replacement-only policy, maybe for 7 or 10 days, not a full refund. So if there's a minor issue, like one dead pixel on your new TV, you'll likely get a replacement unit, not your money back to buy something else. You need to be okay with that before you order.
That's a really important distinction.
And one quick point for anyone buying for their business. Use Amazon Business if you can. It lets you get GST invoices, which means you might be able to claim input tax credit. That's potentially another layer of savings for business purchases.
Excellent point. Okay, wow, that was a lot. Let's try and boil it down. After this whole deep dive, what are the absolute must-remember takeaways? The top 5.
Okay, top 5. 1, start date is September 23rd. 2, Prime Early Access is basically essential for the best stuff. 3, the SBI 10% instant discount is your baseline saving, but check the caps and T&Cs carefully. Use that split order trick if it makes sense.
All right, 4, the headline deal. Up to 65% off on TVs and projectors is real, but use our checklists. Check for HDMI 2.1 if you game, Dolby Vision if you stream. Buy quality, not just a discount number. Exactly. And 5, early deals are happening now. Use that wish list, clip those coupons. The prep work starts today, not on the 23rd.
Perfect summary. Okay, here's a final thought. The ultimate rule to protect yourself before you dive into the frenzy. Set a budget. Seriously, that festive FOMO, the fear of missing out, is incredibly powerful. It pushes impulse buys we regret later. Know what you can actually afford to spend before you even start browsing.
Couldn't agree more. A budget is your best defense against sale madness. And just the standard disclaimer. Remember, all these offers, the prices, bank discounts, return policies, everything is subject to change by Amazon and the banks. Always verify the final details on the product page and the payment page right before you confirm your order. Terms and conditions always apply. Okay, happy hunting for those deals, especially those big screen bargains.